Tomi Lahren delivered pointed criticism of Gavin Newsom following his recent appearance with Bill Maher, arguing that the California governor struggled to respond effectively when pressed on the state's challenges. According to Lahren, Maher's questioning highlighted what she sees as a recurring issue with Newsom's communication style. She suggested that he often comes across as overly self-assured, which can make it difficult for him to engage with criticism in a direct or convincing way. In her view, the exchange demonstrated that even when faced with predictable questions, topics that are frequently raised about California, Newsom appeared uncomfortable and somewhat evasive. A central part of Lahren's argument focused on Newsom's tendency to emphasize California's economic strength. She noted that he regularly points to the state's position as one of the largest economies in the world as evidence of successful leadership. However, she dismissed this as an insufficient defense, contending that California's economic power is rooted in long-standing structural advantages, including its size, resources, and industries, rather than the policies of any single administration. From her perspective, repeatedly citing this statistic avoids addressing more specific concerns about governance and quality of life in the state. Lahren went further, accusing Newsom and other Democratic leaders in California of contributing to the very problems critics raise. While she did not detail specific policy areas in this critique, her broader claim was that leadership decisions have, in her view, undermined the state's potential rather than strengthened it. This line of argument reflects a wider political debate over how California is managed, with supporters pointing to economic growth and innovation, and critics highlighting issues such as housing costs, crime, and population shifts. Beyond state-level concerns, Lahren also questioned Newsom's perceived national ambitions. She suggested that his performance in a relatively relaxed interview setting could raise doubts about his readiness for a presidential campaign. If he finds it difficult to navigate straightforward questioning from a host like Maher, who, while critical, is not typically seen as overtly hostile, she implied that the pressures of a national race could prove even more challenging. In that context, Lahren drew a comparison to Kamala Harris, suggesting that Newsom's showing might make other Democratic figures appear more viable or appealing by contrast. The remark underscored her broader skepticism about his political positioning and ability to connect with a wider audience. Overall, Lahren's critique centered less on any single policy dispute and more on what she characterized as a pattern: reliance on broad talking points, difficulty handling criticism, and an image she views as overly polished but lacking substance under pressure. Supporters of Newsom would likely dispute this interpretation, pointing to his policy record and political success within California. Still, the exchange with Maher, and the reaction it sparked, illustrates how media appearances can quickly become focal points in ongoing political debates about leadership, performance, and future ambitions.